Hi, everyone. It's Alicia Marcos Birong, and I'm not sure that you're seeing me, but I hope you are. It is May 18th, 2022. I hope you are all doing well. It is very hot where I am. I'm actually in Texas and heading back to Illinois this week. I hope you're doing some work for yourself this week and doing some self love. Everybody has their ways of being able to do self love for themselves. Sometimes self love is also about doing something for someone else you love. This week has been a great experience of being with my father. He's 92 years old, and so we celebrated his birthday in 2 days. To be able to celebrate a person's life and help them understand that, they've been important to your life and be able to say thank you. And I think that that's part of self love. I think it's taking care of what is in your mind, what you need to do. I think also it's a situation of it's something that we have to teach our kids. And, they need to be able to learn how to self love, but they learn it from you or from the adults that are around them. So, how do they do that? How do they learn how to love themselves? When they see you doing things for yourself, whether it's taking 10 minutes out and, just being quiet or meditating or praying, they realize that that time is something that's important, that contributes to your life and also contributes to helping you be a better parent. So, self-love also can looking at our bodies and what we feed it. I watch a lot of moms who, really, really work hard on taking care of themselves, but they try to also take care of their children, but sometimes it gets too busy and we're at the drive-in to pick up some food. That's not bad. Sometimes it's even self love of themselves, of being able to say, hey, moms, you had a stressful day. Your child wants to have something out of the ordinary. What's wrong with that? None of that is bad. So sometimes self-love doesn't always look like it is, because we might, do something out of the ordinary, and it took care of your needs because you needed to take care of you, and you took care of your child's needs by having a little junk food every once in a while. So, self-love can look many different ways. Exercising, doing all kinds of things. But let's talk a little bit about those girls. We've got a Chat of Girls challenge out there right now. The challenge is to be able to get Chat of Girls across the country. And one of the things that we really talk about in Chat of Girls with the girls is looking at themselves in a mirror. All right. So, looking at themselves in the mirror. So let's talk about looking in the mirror. Reality is we look in a mirror and we see an image. But sometimes we really don't see who we are because we don't go deeper. So one of our ways that we learn how to self-love ourselves is acceptance of what we see inside and outside. Okay. Sometimes that's difficult, to be able to do that, because other people have influence on us to be able to tell us, what we look like or what we don't. It's always great to get a compliment, but Is it a compliment that we learn how to accept? That's a toughie. I don't know how old I was until I learned how to take a compliment, because I didn't know that what other people said to me was part of my growth, especially when it was positive. If it was negative, yeah, it was part of my growth, because it was a situation of it stopped me and got me in this mode of, this is who I am. This is the person I am. They're telling me who we are. No, nobody's going to tell you who you are. You're going to decide who you are. You're going to do what I always say is celebrating your uniqueness. Self-love is an important part of your uniqueness, and how you do it, everybody is different. So when it comes to our daughters, we want, and our sons, we want them to take time to have some self-love, time to be able to accept who they are, good and bad, to change the bad to good, to be able to respect themselves. We have a lot of kids right now in the world that we're dealing with a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, and a lot of teen suicides. And this is a really, really difficult thing for a lot of people. And it's a difficult thing for me, because I understand that those kids have come to a place in their life where they feel like they have no purpose because they haven't learned how to love themselves. We really, really want them to love themselves, but they're not doing it. Why? Because they are allowing other people to tell them who they are. Some of us don't figure out who we are or what our uniqueness is until adulthood. And that's one of the challenges, because sometimes our kids want to grow up too fast. And as they want to grow up too fast, they very much come to the situation of going, well, I'm never going to get there. I'm never going to be what I want to be. And they give up. Reality is we don't want them to give up. We want them to learn how to love themselves. And I do believe that giving our children an opportunity to do mindfulness sessions for themselves, time to just listen to their minds, time to journal, write down their thoughts. Because when we write it down and we look at it in a piece of paper, and we look is, I had a really bad day. And sometimes I've seen, I had a really bad day. I don't want to be here on this earth. Wow. That's a lot of things. That's a big thing. Reality is they need our support as moms and dads to give them a reason to want to continue to grow and be the person they are. But we have a lot of negative influences happening in the world. And this is a time, I think, that we need to be a little more protective of our kids in the way of giving them tools, but also looking at who their friends with are, what negative is coming in and out of their lives. If you've given them a cell phone, that's your cell phone. You own that cell phone. You need to be looking at it. And I have a lot of parents who sometimes disagree with that. But I believe looking at their phone and hearing and seeing the things that are going on is self-love. Because sometimes they make mistakes, and sometimes they can't take them back. And on the cell phones, they can't take them back. And so we want to be able to give them some self-love and help them to love themselves by giving them some guidelines. If you give them a phone, that's nice, but you also have to give them some boundaries. And one of the boundaries means you need to look to see what's on that phone. You need those communications. You need to see if that negative is coming in to those kids' lives. We come in too late when it comes to the situation of depression and suicide, because when we go back and we look at those phones, guess what? It gives us the answers. It tells us what's happening in that child's life. At that point, it's too late. Let's not make it too late. Let's put those boundaries on there. If we're going to put that phone in their hand, then we have a right to pick it up and see what is going on. And that is self-love for yourself and your child. You know, we've got to be able to do that. If they have a journal, yes, it's private, but you need to be able to check with them and see if they have written in their journal. Because when they write in their journal and they do time to do some mindfulness work and meditation, then they're taking care of themselves. You've laid that. But the most important part of this is you are the example. If you're not taking care of yourself and you're not taking that time to have time away, then they don't have that example. You are the example. You are that mom. You are that amazing person that brought this kid into the world, no matter how you got them, whether they're fostered, however you got them. You have taken on a responsibility as a mom. And that's your job, to take care of that child, celebrate their uniqueness. I see my great friend, loving person, great mom, Miss Hannah over there. Any thoughts, Miss Hannah?
Well, first of all, I'm sorry for being late to our own live. Gotta love doctors and nurses. But I did get to hear what you were saying about, being involved in terms of checking their phone, reading their diary. And I actually experienced that with my 10-year-old. I had to do that. And I was a little shocked at what I found in her phone and her diary. But it opened up a whole, I don't even know where to start with that, but it is important. It is important to know what our youngsters are watching. Our little girls are very easily persuaded, jaded. So, being that what another colleague of ours calls mindful meddling is super important. When you do find things that you really feel your child should not be watching, how to address it. It's something that I went through. I personally took her phone away from her, and we had to address the situation. We had to discuss it. It was uncomfortable. Was she angry? Absolutely. But it's a part of being a parent. It's a part of, it's part of being a mom. It's part of raising our daughters to be mindful of what they're watching, who they're following, what they're sharing, what they're ingesting mentally, So I like that. I like the fact that you shared that. Same thing with diary. Yes, we're being nosy, if that's what we want to call it, but it's out of concern. Kids are not always as apt to open up and share, hey, this happened or that. Sometimes we don't know when our kids are being bullied. Sometimes they don't want to share it because they don't know how to react. They don't understand it. They don't know why. So we have to be super nosy and involved and keep the lines of communication open. So I like that. And I'm sorry for being late, but that's what I've heard so far.
That's okay. And one of the things I want to say about the diary and the journal, that's really important. So there's one way of being able to do it. One, I believe that every mom should have her own journal. And when you give your daughter a journal, there is the same situation having to do with the phone. I'm going to give you this journal, and every week I'm going to check in to see if there was something that you wrote in your journal that was really troubling you, or there was something that was really great that week. And I'm going to share something in my journal also. So that opens the communications, not putting that negative boundary in it, but a positive things, because this is a journal is something that helps them grow. And so communicating, one, they got it out. Okay. And it's important to get it there. But number two is to be able, can they go the next step and have a discussion with it and give you a good one and give you a bad one? You don't just give a child a journal and say, okay, here it is, and I want you to write about it and put your thoughts in it. No, let's put a little boundaries in there enough to be able to help them be able to grow from that journal. You know, we look, I mean, I have thousands of journals, and I go back and look at, 10 years ago of what my journal said and everything. And then I look at where I am right now, and I'm like, wow, I've grown. We want our daughters to see that too. And so that is what we call self-love. We're loving ourselves by helping them. They're loving themselves by learning a new tool for themselves. So, that's really it. But once again, the last big remarks is you are in control of that phone. And yes, Hannah, I understand that one so much. But remember, some parents could have saved a life. And that's very sad by not checking that phone. Because reality is, you might have the mean girl, or you might have the good girl in your house. But sometimes you don't know which one you have. And that phone gives you that information.
Yeah, I agree. We always need to have an open line of communication with our young girls, giving them that sense of safety and security that they can come and talk to us about anything. But we also have to be prepared for those conversations when they do come up. And we by you coming on every week, sharing different tips and things, the things that you're sharing, the things that you're focusing on is not only helping the little girls, but it's helping the mothers to be able to be equipped, to have the fundamental tools to be able to answer those questions or when those issues happen. So I love it. I love what you're doing. I love the movement. I'm excited and will be a continued supporter. I used a lot of the trainings and things that you do on my little Sophia, and we'll continue to do so, and you have an event coming up in August here in Las Vegas, August 12th and 13th. And we're actually going to be releasing all that information Monday, so that we can get, it's going to be open to, 30 girls from the Las Vegas Valley. We have some incredible partners coming on, but it's going to be a 2-day Chatter Girl training where the moms and the daughters can come in and really learn what you've been teaching, what you've been speaking about, what you've been traveling, what you've been doing. So I'm really excited. So everyone stay tuned, be coming, and congratulations to you for becoming another best-selling author. I encourage everyone to read her latest book, Becoming an Unstoppable Woman Mompreneur. She's written another amazing chapter, and congratulations, and thank you for being here.
Thank you, Hannah. It's always a pleasure. And, talking about the retreat, reality is, moms, maybe sometimes we didn't have that mom, and maybe we're carrying some of our stuff from being a kid. And in that retreat, moms, you're going to get to let go of your junk and also learn how to better work with your child.
I can't wait. I'm excited. So
I'm excited too.
We will be there.
Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Follow the Chatter Girl Challenge.
Absolutely. And join us again next week, Wednesday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You will get the amazing, fabulous Alicia Marcos Birong and more of her gems. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Bye.
Bye.